When will Selena ever get married? If you keep staying at home, you'll never find a boyfriend. My sister Melanie has always been competitive with me. Whether it was school grades or extracurricular activities, she always tried to outdo me, which was quite annoying. Her competitive nature didn't change as we grew older, and Melanie felt superior because she got married before I did. Selena, you need to be more fashionable if you want to get married, she often mocked. I never cared about sibling rivalry, so I mostly ignored her. But then something happened that I couldn't overlook. My name is Selena, a 31-year-old freelance web designer. After high school, I didn't have any specific goals, so I worked in a factory. The long hours and night shifts were tough. So when I learned about web design, I decided to pursue it. I quit my factory job and enrolled in a design school. After working for a web design company for several years, I became a successful freelancer, enjoying fulfilling days with the freedom to work whenever and wherever I wanted. My income almost doubled compared to when I was employed. Wanting to repay my parents for their support, I decided to buy them a high-rise condominium since our family home was getting old. My parents were overjoyed and moved in with me, and we now live peacefully together. When Melanie and her husband Mitch heard about our new home, they came to visit. It's amazing that Selena can live in such a condo. You used to work at a factory, Melanie said with a hint of sarcasm. Apparently, they lived in an apartment and felt defeated by my living situation. You're a web designer, right? That job must pay well. Maybe I should start too. If Selena can do it, it must be easy. I was a bit angry at Melanie's casual dismissal of my hard work, but I knew arguing was pointless. Why not give it a try? You have time as a homemaker, right? Are you mocking homemakers, Selena? Housework is hard. You wouldn't understand being taken care of by mommy. I help mom too, and I understand the challenges of housework, I replied, but Melanie's sarcastic tone didn't stop. She seemed upset that I was living in a condominium. Perhaps it was the alcohol, but Melanie's snide remarks continued until our father intervened. Melanie, haven't you been a bit harsh with your words? Selena has worked hard to get where she is now. Daddy, it's fine. I'm okay, I said, stepping in to prevent a fight. Darling Melanie, you've both had a bit too much to drink. Maybe it's time to call it a night, Mom said tactfully. We managed to avoid a fight, but Dad was still angry after my sister and her husband left. I can't believe she spoke like that without knowing Selena's struggles. Daddy, it's okay. I'm not bothered, I reassured him, and he finally relaxed. A few months later, Mitch's company went bankrupt and Melanie asked if they could stay with us for a while. We had spare rooms, and I thought it would be okay until Mitch found another job, so I agreed. I'm sorry, Selena, for barging in like this. No, it's totally fine. Mitch has a college degree, so he should find another job soon. Please bear with us until then, I said. Despite her previous snide comments, I found it ironic that she turned to me first when in trouble, but I reluctantly agreed. However, they never left and gradually made themselves at home. My parents were concerned about Mitch's job situation. It's been 3 months since they said he would find something soon. Mitch hasn't found a job yet, I asked Melanie, who seemed completely unconcerned. Unlike Selena, Mitch has a college degree, so he'll find a job soon, she said, not taking me seriously. She even started making snide remarks when our parents weren't around. Why don't you worry about yourself instead of Mitch? What do you mean by that? You're in your early 30s, right? Can you even get married? Unlike me, you're not that pretty. Maybe no one will marry you now. Melanie was saying whatever she wanted. I don't need you to worry about me. Maybe you should be the one worrying, I retorted, frustrated and angry. I held back, knowing that arguing would only please Melanie. Lately, even Mitch had started making snide remarks to me. Maybe he was frustrated with not finding a job and was taking it out on me. You only graduated from high school, right, Selena? Yeah. So what? It takes courage to be independent with just a high school diploma. What will you do if you can't earn money? It seems hard to find a job again with just a high school education. Really? I think it's just temporary for you, Selena. Well, I have a college degree, so finding a new job will be easy for me. Even though he hadn't found a new job yet, I was furious that Mitch was trying to one-up me based on education. Education might be important at times, but it's not everything. I once thought that being independent without a college degree would be tough, and my spirit almost broke. But you can study at any age. And I believe everything depends on your effort, not education. Yet Mitch kept making fun of me for only having a high school diploma. The snide remarks never stopped. What's more, Melanie stopped helping with the housework altogether, leaving it all to me and Mom. She would just play in her room or go shopping. Mitch also seemed to have stopped looking for work lately. Instead, he was living a lazy life at home. When our parents were around, he would even complain to Melanie about the food, saying, "Wasn't today's meal a bit bland?" I absolutely wanted to avoid letting them freeload like this and having to support them in the future. "Melanie, how long do you plan to stay? If Mitch can't find a job, why do we work too?" I couldn't bear it any longer and spoke to them in a firm tone. Melanie replied carelessly without even looking at me, "It's fine. They'll find something soon." Her attitude only fueled my anger. "It's been almost half a year since you said soon. Mitch, are you close to finding a job? I might get an offer from a big company. I think the salary will be better than Selena's," Mitch said. Is that true? Mitch was now blatantly lying. More importantly, Selena might not be able to earn money in the future, right? Melanie suddenly changed the subject. "Hey, don't dodge the question. If that happens, we'll have to sell this house, right? You shouldn't have bought such a place. What are you trying to say?" "So, give this house to us. Mitch has a college degree, so his income should be stable. If you leave it to us, you won't have to sell the house." I couldn't tell if they were serious, but they started saying nonsensical things. "Wait, do you even understand what you're saying? Mitch isn't even working yet. He's going to get a better job, so it's fine. And this is a good opportunity, Selena. You should live alone." "What? You don't need anyone because you always live with your parents. Leave mommy and daddy to us." "Enough. This is my house, you know." It seemed that the two were plotting to kick me out and take over this condominium. They made snide remarks and didn't help with housework. They said they'd stay until they found work, but trying to take over my house was unforgivable. I had been lenient because they were in trouble, but I couldn't live with them any longer. I decided to kick my sister and her husband out of the house. When I told my parents, they said, "Actually, honey, we've been talking since last month that it might be best to kick them out, but we kept quiet because it's Selena's decision." My parents seemed to feel the same way as I did. That night, we called Melanie and Mitch for a family meeting. "What's going on with everyone here? What's the matter?" Melanie asked. "We've decided that you two need to leave this house." "What's Selena? What are you talking about all of a sudden?" "I've reached my limit, and so have mommy and daddy." "Limits? What do you mean? This is so sudden. We can't expect you to leave right away, so we'll give you a month. You have 1 month from today to move out." "That's still sudden," Melanie said, taken aback and panicked, clearly not expecting to be told to leave. "Mitch, have you found a job?" When I asked Mitch, he looked down and mumbled in a small voice, "Not yet." "It'll happen soon. It's been half a year already, hasn't it? And even though we're letting you stay, Melanie doesn't help with housework. Lately, both of you have been making snide remarks to me, right?" "Remarks?" Daddy reacted to that word. I hadn't told anyone about the snide remarks, so I think my parents were quite surprised. "Did you two make snide remarks to Selena?" "No, that's not." Mitch looked very uncomfortable and was sweating. "Daddy, it's not like that. It's not snide remarks. It's advice." "What advice did you give to Selena?" Daddy's voice gradually became scarier. He rarely gets angry because he's usually gentle, but when he does, it's frightening. It's more like, perhaps intimidated by Daddy's pressure, Melanie's voice trailed off. I explained to Daddy on Melanie's behalf. They advised me that since I only have a high school diploma, my future is uncertain and that I should live alone to get married, right? I repeated what they had said. Daddy was completely furious. "Enough of this nonsense. Uncertain because of a high school diploma? Better to live alone. Are you in a position to say that?" Melanie remained silent, looking down. "Let me say this now. You have a college degree, so why can't you find a job? If Mitch can't find one, why doesn't Melanie work? Melanie has a college degree too." Melanie and Mitch seemed speechless at Daddy's words. "Selena, 1 month is too lenient. They must leave right now. Both of you, pack your things." "What? That's impossible. We have nowhere to go," Melanie cried to Daddy, almost sobbing. "I don't care. If I say leave, you leave." "Mommy, Please talk to Daddy, she pleaded with Mom. I feel the same way as darling, Mom said. Usually she would side with them when Daddy got angry, but not this time. No way. Daddy's right. 1 month is too generous. Can you leave right now? Even Selena, Mitch supporting a crumbling Melanie, gathered their belongings and said I'm sorry as their last words before leaving. To be honest, Melanie and Mitch had been a source of stress, and I hadn't been able to work as I wanted for the past few months. Thanks to my father, we were finally able to get Melanie and Mitch to leave, and I felt relieved at last. A month later, Melanie suddenly showed up at our house. What do you want? Actually, Mitch and I got divorced. According to Melanie, after being kicked out of our house, they had to go to Mitch's parents' house. Mitch's parents were apparently very strict and were furious when they heard about what had happened. With nowhere else to go, they begged and were reluctantly allowed to live with them. Every day after that, Mitch went job hunting and Melanie helped with the housework. But weeks went by and Mitch still couldn't find a job. Despite having a college degree, he didn't have any significant qualifications and had only done what he was told at his previous job without any real accomplishments. There were plenty of jobs available if he wasn't picky, but it seemed that Mitch's pride wouldn't allow it. He was looking for a company similar to or better than his previous one. Finally realizing this, Melanie brought up divorce. I never thought he was such a proud guy. It wasn't that he couldn't find a job, he was just being choosy. Isn't that awful? While Mitch's inability to let go of his pride was certainly wrong, Melanie, who had continually demanded more income from Mitch than me, was also at fault. If Mitch had taken a lower-paying job, who knows what Melanie would have said. So that's why I'm going to live with everyone from now on. Thanks in advance. That's not going to happen. What? I told you we can't live with you anymore. Daddy and Mommy think so too. But I'm divorced now. It's different from last time. That's not the issue. We're saying we can't stand your personality. Don't come here again and don't contact us if you're in trouble. Wait, you know I'm out working, right? What am I supposed to do? You have a college degree, don't you? You should be able to earn more than me, a high school graduate, right? So there shouldn't be any problem. I said that and kicked Melanie out of the house. Melanie cried like a child, saying, Don't say that. Please forgive me. I'll listen and help. But I forcibly pushed her out the front door, and she gave up and went home. Afterward, I heard that Melanie is working at a supermarket and living alone. It seems that Melanie, realizing she couldn't beat me no matter what, has given up and is living a modest life. On the other hand, Mitch, still unable to let go of his pride and not finding employment, was kicked out of his parents' house. Who knows where he is or what he's doing now? As for me, I finally got married the other day. I met my partner through work, and we had been dating for several years. We had been considering marriage for quite some time, and I had already introduced him to my parents. The only one who didn't know about it was Melanie. Now I'm living happily with my husband and parents in my house.